Shabbat Shalom. Welcome back here to our Shabbat gathering at Light to the Nations. It's a blessing, like every week, to be once again with all of you to continue sharing the word of YaHuWaH in this portion of the book of Ezekiel that I know has been a blessing to the two of us, and we also know that it's been a blessing for all of you. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we really hope that you have been enjoying your Shabbat and that you are going to enjoy with us the portion today. I see that you are interacting in the chat. I see many of you on the connected already. 22 connected in the as of now. Only 12 likes, so don't forget to like this video, so some more people are going to be able to get this study and enjoy the word of YaHuWaH in the same way that we are doing. So today we are going to study the chapter.
Yeah, it's like the 12 and the 12 and 13. Yeah, those two chapters.
The chapter 12 and chapter 13 of the book of Ezekiel. And we have titled this portion.
None of my words are deferred any longer.
You have a...
I was reading from there.
Good. None of my words are deferred any longer. And I think, that's the feeling all of us we are having in our hearts, that there is no more time that the word of YaHuWaH is being fulfilled before our own eyes, is that the completion of the fulfillment of his words is going to happen in our days, in our generation. So, this morning I was praying, and I use, as I always do, I ask YaHuWaH to guide me to open the scriptures in some place, and I open it, and ta-da! It was so kind of funny, because it's a confirmation of the same things that we are going to read today. So I'm going to cross-reference
in a different book.
In a different book, I'm going to cross-reference on the things that we are going to read in Ezekiel with what the YaHuWaH allowed me to read in the book of Micah. And the first words that I was reading in the book of Micah, it was exactly the same thing, is that we are in these times, in the times that YaHuWaH is going to fulfill all his words, and that should be an excitement for all of us, even though that we know it's not going to be easy. It's not being easy, and it's going to even get more difficult with time. It should be an excitement in our hearts, in our spirits, that finally we see the words that YaHuWaH has spoken are being fulfilled, and he is coming back. Yahushua is coming back in order to establish his kingdom here on earth. That should be enough excitement for us, or enough thing in order to be excited about the times we are living and the times that the YaHuWaH has appointed us to live. So it's a blessing. It's a blessing and an excitement. That's the way that we need to focus everything that we are facing and experiencing in these last days. So before we continue, I don't know if you want to share something. You always have something to share. So
no, I was thinking about that. It's like YaHuWaH saying, hurry up, you don't have more extra time. So see how the time is arriving, that you have to be ready. So don't delay any longer. Now I want to share with you that we received a letter from our sister Judy, and she was transferred from one place to another in the same location, in the same facility, but in a different place inside. And she got a new roommate, and her name is Tina. Tina is her name. And I was very touched because, that in prisons, because of the space, they usually have these double beds. And since Judy is around almost 70 years old, I think, it's like 60 something, but going toward to the 70 years old, she has like the privilege maybe to go in the bottom because of the possible falls and things like that. And this time in this new place, the new roommate has to be assigned to go in the upper side of the bed. I think that is being called bunker bed or something like that. And she has to go there, but the problem is that this new roommate has a very serious issue with being in high places. So it's a kind of terrifying for her. and Judy was asking if we could pray for her, and also that she's going maybe to be somebody new who's going to listen from YaHuWaH. That because finally they decided that they were going to take the mattress and put it on the floor. And the issue that this day and in the place that they're staying is a kind of humid and very cold. But I was thinking that sometimes YaHuWaH maybe can use us when somebody is going to have to feel very afraid of something and to look for a different solution. So we can be that person, that instrument, and to help them and to ask to the rest of the people also for having some prayers over them. Because maybe Judy could have said, okay, it's not my problem, it's your problem, but both of them could arrive to that solution, and she's asking us if we can pray for the both of them. So, and I think that usually is very difficult when you are knowing somebody that is completely different from you. But she knows that she's going, and she's saying, I'm praising YaHuWaH because he's having me here, and he knows until when. So if we can pray for that, and I don't know if YaHuWaH wants her to be there until he decided when it's going to be. But it's beautiful, and maybe sometimes we have to do like the same. When we see that somebody's facing a very difficult moment, to ask YaHuWaH and to ask the people around us if we can go together and pray together so that person could overcome that difficult situation for them. Maybe for us it's nothing. Maybe for us it's going to be, how are you going to be afraid of that? We don't know what experience that person could have had in the past, and we don't know what is triggering that fear. And any of us have different situation. So, but together we can do something different. And that's it.
Good words. We need to keep Yuri and Tina.
Tina is the
in
name
our
of
prayers.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So I think let's move on. Let me share this song with you before we begin the study today. So here we go.
Adonai shomrecha, Adonai tzilcha, al yad yeminecha, Adonai tzilcha. Yomam hashemesh lo yakeka, ve'yareach balayla. Adonai yishmor tzedcha u'voacha, me'ata ve'ad olam. Adonai yishmorcha mikol ra, yishmor et nafshecha mikol ra. Yomam hashemesh lo yakeka, ve'yareach balayla. Adonai yishmor tzedcha u'voacha, me'ata ve'ad olam. יד ימינך אדוני צילך.
It was like a lullaby.
Yeah, but it's an important message.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
I know.
Like he doesn't slumber nor sleep. He's always protecting his people, and especially, it's such an important promise for the times we are living. So it's something we need to remember all the time. So let's pray. YaHuWaH Elohim Sebaot, we come to you, before you in this moment, with the gratitude in our hearts for everything you do for each one of us, for your people, for your remnant, this generation. Thank you, Abba, because you are the one who guides our steps, the one who is giving us life, who's protecting us all the time. You are the one, through your compassion and your love, who is opening doors and guiding us in the ways of this life. Thank you, YaHuWaH, because in the midst of tribulations, in the midst of problems and darkness, you are there with your light to shine, so to guide us, O YaHuWaH, in this life. Help us, O YaHuWaH, so we always have eyes to see and ears to hear, so we are able to recognize you in all our experiences. So we are able to recognize your voice and your work and your mighty hand in our lives, every day and in every moment of our lives, because you are present everywhere. You are present at any moment and in every moment. It's just up to us, O YaHuWaH, to be ready to recognize you, to recognize your voice, to recognize how you guide us and how you lead us on the way. We want to give thanks to you in this moment, O YaHuWaH, because you are giving us once again the opportunity to have this virtual gathering. Thank you, O YaHuWaH, because you have set in our hearts the desire to study your word, the word you gave to your prophets, your servants, words for this time that we are living. We ask you, as we always do, that you can give us of your wisdom, that you can open our understanding to your word, so we can receive what you have prepared for us today. Thank you, YaHuWaH, because you are allowing us to enjoy your Shabbat, studying your word together. Thank you, YaHuWaH, because you have chosen us out of the world in order to walk together with you, following the steps of Mashiach, who is leading us on the way back to you. Thank you, YaHuWaH, because you are the one teaching us your way, because you have established your covenant through the offering of your son Yahushua in the stake, and given us the opportunity to be part of that covenant. The only reason we are here is because it was in the desire of your heart to give us the opportunity to be your people, to enter into your covenant. And we are here, YaHuWaH, keeping your set-apart day. We are here, studying your word. And we do it because we love you, because we want to demonstrate through our actions and our works how we love you. We want to obey your words, O YaHuWaH, because in your word is where we find life, eternal life. And we know that your word was made flesh, and that's Yahushua, your son, our King, our Savior. Guide us, O YaHuWaH, as we always ask you in everything we are going to say today. Teach us your words and your ways. Talk to us and through us, allowing your Ruach to speak to us during this study. We are nothing without you, YaHuWaH, because only in you is where we find fullness of life. And that's why we ask you, YaHuWaH, Sebaot, that your presence be here with us today, no matter where we are, that we can feel the touch of your presence in our spirits and in our hearts. We are living in difficult times, so YaHuWaH, you know, even better than us. And in these difficult times is when we need you the most. Give us, YaHuWaH, your wisdom to understand the signs and the seasons. Give us of your wisdom to be children of light and not to be in darkness. Give us, YaHuWaH, of your wisdom so we can understand the fulfillment of some of your prophecies that can be so subtle to the normal eye and ear. But through your wisdom, we are going to be able to see it and to be attentive. Allow us, O YaHuWaH, to identify how to receive your mark and your signature in our forehead, and how to avoid the signature of the system of the beast. We trust you with all our hearts. And I know, YaHuWaH, that you are doing something in this generation because I can feel it in my heart. And I know, YaHuWaH, that you are pouring down your wisdom and your understanding in your remnant in these days. We just trust in you and only in you, because in you is where we find the truth. Because you are the source of truth. We just want to hold fast the hand of Mashiach. Because you, Yahushua, are the one who is leading us back to the Father. Thank you, Abba, for being with us, for your presence, for your Ruach HaKodesh. Guide us in every word. Guide us every day of our lives, O YaHuWaH. We pray to you in this moment, and we lift up our voices to you with all our hearts, waiting for you all the time, and knowing that you listen to the voice and the words of your people. Thank you, YaHuWaH, in the mighty name of your Son, of Yahushua HaMashiach. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. So let's go. Ezekiel chapter 12. Verse 1 onward. Okay, and it says the following. And the word of YaHuWaH came to me, saying, Son of man, you are dwelling in the midst of a rebellious house. They have eyes to see, but they have not seen. They have ears to hear, but they have not heard. For they are a rebellious house. Therefore, son of man, prepare your baggage for exile, and go into exile by day before their eyes. And you shall go from your place into exile to another place before their eyes. It could be that they see, though they are a rebellious house. And you shall bring out your baggage for exile before their eyes by day, and at evening go before their eyes, like those who go into exile. Dig through the wall before their eyes, and you shall bring them out through it. Take them on your shoulders, and bring them out at dark before their eyes. Cover your face, so that you do not see the land. For I have made you a sign to the house of Israel. And so I did, as I was commanded. I brought out my baggage for exile by day, and at evening I dug through the wall with my hand. I brought them out at dark, and I took them on my shoulder before their eyes. And in the morning the word of YaHuWaH came to me, saying, Son of man, did not the house of Israel, the rebellious house, say to you, What are you doing? Say to them, Thus said the Master YaHuWaH, This message is to the prince in Jerusalem, and all the house of Israel who are in their midst. Say, I am assigned to you. As I have done, so it is done to them. They are to go into exile, into captivity. And the prince who is in their midst is to bear his baggage on his shoulder at dark and go out. They are to dig through the wall to bring them out through it. He is to cover his face so that he does not see the land with his eyes. And I shall spread my net over him, and he shall be caught in my snare. And I shall bring him to Babel, the land of the Kasdim, but he shall not see it, and yet die there. And I shall scatter to every wind all who are around him to help him, and all his bands, and I shall draw out the sword after them. And they shall know that I am YaHuWaH when I scatter them among the nations, and I shall disperse them throughout the lands. But I shall let a few of their men escape from the sword, from a scarcity of food, and from pestilence, so that they recount all their abominations among the nations wherever they go. And they shall know that I am YaHuWaH. Let's keep it there. So, what do you want to share?
It's kind of interesting, the story, because he asked him to dig a hole in the wall. Why he didn't say, go and use the door? I don't know. It was because it should be something that it really called their attention, like a completely different situation, because if he was going to go and taking the luggage, I don't know, but using the door, maybe it could have meant nothing. But maybe it was something so they can really see everything that was behind, all what it could mean. And
I'm listening to you and just taking a look at something. Go ahead.
And then I was thinking, maybe it's because they didn't have even a door. They were like captive, that maybe they couldn't go out or nobody get in. Somehow they were so comfortable in that place that they were like trapped. But when I was thinking in a more beautiful way, I was thinking when it says dig a hole into the wall and you are going to bring from there the luggage. It's two, I don't know why I have these two different pictures, but I was thinking when Yahushua was calling Eleazar or Lazarus from being dead. And even though they didn't dig a hole and anything, well, the hole was already there, but they removed the stone, but he was doing something that it was never seen before. He was like putting a door between life and death. He was bringing somebody from the death realm and bringing again into life. So for me, it was like, okay, you are going to open this door and you are going to bring something from that place to this place. So I was thinking about that. It was like, and I read it today when I was reading the description, that it was like my first image when I was reading that part. And also when he said that you're going to bring your luggage over your shoulder, I imagine the shepherd bringing one of the sheep on his shoulders. So maybe the baggage is all of us as sheep, a part of his sheep fold, the group of that we are, and he is taking us from that place that maybe we were being dead and bringing us maybe through exile, but in a place where we are going to live with him. I don't know.
That's interesting. When you mentioned this, I remember the book we were reading the other day,
Yeah.
that they were somehow describing how the slaves in the cities from the past were carrying the water from the river to the gardens.
Yeah.
So what it represents somehow, even though there is a baggage, is a burden.
Yeah.
So we are with a heavy burden in our backs, and the only one who can take that burden is Mashiach. And I think it's a beautiful picture that we will see somehow connected to this. So I have few items that are related to this portion, mainly to the first one. He's saying, and it's so important for especially for our days, is that he's beginning the passage, and his words, YaHuWaH in this case, saying that the people doesn't have eyes to see, that's why they have not seen, and they don't have ears to hear. And the only reason that they are not able to see, even though they have eyes, and they are not able to hear, even though that they have ears, is because they are a rebellious people.
And also that it was Ezekiel who was in the midst of them. It's like, okay, this is it. All the rest that who are surrounding you, they are rebellious people. So it's your time. You need to go out.
So, the connection that he's making about not being able to see or not able to hear, connected to being rebellious or to being disobedient, is so important. I think it should speak a lot to all of us. And that's why it's so relevant for the times we are living in. We want to be able to see and to hear. And what does it mean? Is to be able to understand, is to be able to be conscious about what's happening. We can speak to a lot of people in our days, and this happening in every aspect of in our day-to-day activities, especially what's going on in the world today, and especially in the last 5 years or 7 years, to say so. And we see people that are definitely are not awake at all. Though we see people being awakened to the reality of what we are living day after day, but we still see people being asleep. They don't even care about what's happening. And it's true that we need to have a certain discernment, not to go to the extremes, because if we are to the extreme that we are so anxious about what's happening, we are not going to be able to enjoy life. But if we are in the other extreme that we don't want to see, and even though we don't want to hear, we can be simply deceived. And that's the reality. So how we are going to be able to be awakened, how we are going to be able to understand, how we are going to be able to be children of light instead of being in the total darkness that has invaded this world in our days, is by being obedient children. If we obey the words of YaHuWaH, if we keep his commandments, if we follow the steps of Mashiach, we are going to have eyes to see, and we are going to have ears to hear. And YaHuWaH, he was speaking about this, he was telling all the time to the people and to his disciples about the same thing. And I just want to share one of those moments that is written in the book of Matthew, chapter 13, verse 16 and 17. And this is something that, we tend to forget. And we should not forget these type of things. Every word that is coming out of the mouth of YaHuWaH is having the priority, has the top importance over anything else. And the words that came out and come out from the mouth of YaHuWaH are the words of his Father, our Father. So his words, the words of Mashiach, are at the top of the priority as well over anything else. So how something that has the top priority is being forgotten? It should be the opposite. We should remember those things. So when he was speaking in parables, and this is the chapter of the parable of the sower, we know that the disciples came to him in the verse 10, and the 12 ones came and said to him, "Why do you speak to them in parables?" And it says, and he answering said to them, "Because it has been given to you to know the secrets of the reign of the heavens, the kingdom of heavens. But to them it has not been given. For whoever possesses, to him more shall be given." And this is so interesting and important, especially on the other stuff that we have been talking this week. "For whoever possesses, to him more shall be given, and he shall have overflowingly. But whoever does not possess, even what he possesses shall be taken away from him." And let me put a stop here, because this is something not related at all to the portion, but I think it's important, again, because those are words coming out of the mouth of Mashiach, and those are important. How we can understand that the one who has possession, and in this case, spiritual possession, wisdom, understanding, is going to receive more. And the one that doesn't have what he has is going to be removed. What do you think? And again, this is totally aside from the portion, but it's there, so let's talk about that.
I don't know. I think that maybe there is a kind of a basic level that everybody has, that basic level of understanding or of wisdom, or I don't know, of the knowledge, so we can survive here. And it's going to be at one point, if you want to learn and if you want to be more like how YaHuWaH wants you to be, you are going to be eager and asking of him how to receive more, like Shlomo. When he was asking him, he was not asking him for riches and that kind of lands and everything. He was asking him wisdom, so he can understand better how to live this life. And when we are doing that, we are going to receive more. But even the basic understanding, I think that at one point, people are going to loosen, and we can see that especially in this generation, because everything is being transferred to something that all the, I don't know, the technology and that kind of stuff are doing and solving some issues instead of you. So today we can see that there are no more knowledge about how to till the ground. There are no more knowledge about how to sacrifice maybe an animal in a gentle way so you can have some food. So maybe we are not knowing a lot of things. We are not having that basic understanding how to grow plants and things like that, how to use the medicine that YaHuWaH has given us through his nature and through the herbs and things like that, because we are putting our trust in something else that is coming from men. And at one point, everything that is being done with the men origin is going to disappear, because he's going to put a stop on that. And I think that is why he's saying even those that is little is going to disappear.
Good. I think it's a good word what you have shared. It's a matter of attitude.
I was given the long response.
It's the attitude, it's the determination of the heart. You know, if we have the attitude and determination to know more, to have the heart for YaHuWaH, to seek for wisdom, or to seek for something, he's going to look into that attitude and the determination of the heart, and he's going to give more to them. If we don't have the attitude to seek his face, to seek for more wisdom, to be passive and lazy, he's going to remove what he has given to us.
Because he's not going to how do you say, desperdiciar?
It's to throw away.
Yeah. It's not going to be a waste.
The answer, you have it in the parable of the talents.
Yeah.
For the one that was given 10, the one that he gave 1, he did nothing with that. He didn't have the attitude for what he was appointed to. And when the master came, he removed that from him and gave it to the one he gave more, because the one who received more had the proper attitude and the determination of the heart in order to push forward, to move forward, to seek for more. So this is exactly what we need to do, you know, and this is a concept, this is an instruction given by YaHuWaH, and this is applicable to every aspect of our lives. If we want to receive more wisdom, if we want to be used more by the Ruach of Elohim in this time, if we want to see more or hear more,
We have to look for
we need to look for it. We need to have the right attitude. We need to we need to have the right determination for that, because having the eyes to see and the ears to hear is a blessing. Let's continue reading. It says in the 13, because of this I speak to them in parables, because seeing they do not see, and hearing they do not hear, nor do they understand. So he was speaking truth to them, but since they didn't have the right attitude, they were unable to understand. And in them the prophecy of YaHuWaH is completely filled, which says, hearing you shall hear and by no means understand, and seeing you shall see and by no means perceive. For the heart of these people has become thickened, and their ears are hard of hearing. The heart is an issue of the heart, the attitude of the people in their hearts. And their eyes they have closed, lest they should see with their eyes and hear with their ears, lest they should understand with their heart and turn back, and I heal them, YaHuWaH the healer. And listen to this. These are the two ones that I really wanted to share with you. And this is the top importance and the priority that we always need to remember. If we are obedient, we are going to have eyes to see and ears to hear. And this is a blessing. Blessed are your eyes because they see, and your ears because they hear. For truly I say to you, that many prophets and righteous ones long to see what you see, and did not see it, and to hear what you hear, and did not hear it. If we are able to see and understand the words of YaHuWaH, if we are able to see his signs and wonders, his healing, if we are able to receive the understanding of his words, and if we are able to see today in our times the fulfillment of the words of old, that's a blessing. How many times we are looking for blessings? There we have a blessing. The point is that we don't remember. And we need to remember those things because are important. The only reason that we are here able to study his words is because we have been blessed by him in order to understand, in order to see, in order to hear. Okay? So let's go back.
Ezekiel.
Thank you. Ezekiel, chapter 12. So the rest, there are so many things that are important. We don't have the time to go into each one of them. And I think maybe it's an interesting thing to go into each one of the aspects, the exile, the baggage, the timing, the people, the wall, dagging on the wall. I think all of that has a meaning. And we didn't do it. We didn't go into the details, so we don't have it to share it. But I think it's something important to understand each one of the things. As we said at the beginning, the baggage could be the burden. We are going because of punishment. The people will go because it was set as a sign. You will be assigned to the house of Israel to show them what's going to happen to them because they were a rebellious house. And we know all of that happened. After Babylon came and destroyed Jerusalem, all of them went into captivity into Babylon. It is written here, when he is speaking about the prince, that the prince will go with the baggage on the shoulder at evening, covering his face not to see the land, what's happening, and seeing that the YaHuWaH is going to spread a net over him, is going to be caught in the snare, is going to be brought to Babel, but he's not going to be able to see the land, even though that he was going to die there. That happened with Tzidkiyahu. his eyes were removed after he saw his sons being killed.
Yeah.
And he was unable to see the land because his eyes were removed.
Mm.
And he died in the land. So that was fulfilled. But even though, as we have been saying in the past weeks, the fulfillment of prophecy is being fulfilled in more than one time. Doesn't mean that this is going to happen again. I don't know. But I think it sometimes are going to be repetitive, especially in Jerusalem, if we connect to the previous prophecies we have been studying in this book and also in the previous books of the prophets. Something is going to happen in Jerusalem. The same thing, maybe, or something similar, maybe, we don't know. We need to continue watching on the wall and seeing with the eyes that YaHuWaH has given us to see.
I was thinking about the baggage, that usually what you put there is things that are precious to you, that are going to be useful, that is going to be a help in the new place that you are going to be. So you are not going to be, I don't know, naked, or maybe your valuables, or your maybe more important memories. I don't know. But it's something that is really precious to you. And you know that as much as you are taking is going to be more heavier. So, and it's something that you want to take with you. So, and I was remember about the place when YaHuWaH was saying, don't make your treasures here in the earth, make your treasures in heaven. So, and maybe that's also why he was always saying about his yoke, that his burden is gentle, because he was detached from everything from this earth. And maybe we need to do something similar. That maybe our baggage needs to be something small and maybe with more spiritual things, or really something that we can carry on. Like when he was saying also, I don't know, maybe it's nothing related to this, but he was saying, take your cross and follow me. Is that you can take something that allows you how to walk and continue your way, not being stopped there.
Yeah, that's true. You know, we know how everything that's been described so far is that they were running away. And if we remember the story of Ezekiel, how he left Jerusalem, is when the Babylonians broke the wall. There was a breach. They were entering into the city. So he escaped through between the walls, it is written. And he was caught when he was outside the city with his men. So he was running away in desperation, in anxiety. So digging through the wall is like going through, not through the gates.
It's like a hidden place.
Yes.
So you're not going to be discovered.
Yes. So it is like it's creating a breach, breaking the wall. So in order to escape, to run away, not in the proper way, like a normal person should go open the door and go out. He was escaping from some other places, so not to be seen. So at the end, everything that is being described here is that he's sending the people of Jerusalem. This was the house of YaHuWaH, even that is called the house of Israel, because even though that is the house of YaHuWaH, collectively is part of Israel. The whole thing is that he's saying, I shall scatter to every wind all who are around him. So it's scattering, sending the dispersion of his people among the nations. I shall disperse, in the verse 15, them throughout the lands. So even in the lands, the people is going to remember and retell everything that happened. And we are doing it actually now by reading his word. We are retelling what happened, so somehow we are fulfilling what is written there by doing this study even. So, and here I'm going to share something that I I saw and cross-reference when I opened the scripture today in the book of Micah. And this is something beautiful because who was the one instructed to dig the wall in this prophecy?
Ezekiel,
And
the
he's
prophet.
called the Son of Man.
Son of Man.
The Son of Man digging through the wall just to show this as a sign of what was going to happen, to send the people in exile. So if we go to the book of Micah,
Should I look it? No?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's
I
easy.
prefer to read it from here. For me, it's
you're
much,
yeah, but I
much
know.
easier. Or I don't know.
Yeah, but
I like
for the
it.
people.
I like it the
Yeah.
most.
Yeah. And Micah?
So Micah chapter 2, you can go to the verse 12, sorry.
Okay.
And after he's talking about the wickedness of the people and many other things, he ended chapter 2 of the book of Micah saying the following: I shall certainly gather all of you, O Yaakov. I shall bring together the remnant of Israel, put them together like sheep of the fold, like a flock in the midst of their pasture, they being noisy because of men. The breach maker shall go up before them. They shall break out and pass through the gate and go out by it, and their sovereign pass before them with YaHuWaH at their head.
So it was like
So the Son of Man digging in the wall, showing them that they were going to be scattered. But here we see a promise of the regathering of his people, and the bridge maker, the Son of Man, the one that was digging in the wall, heading them, because it's YaHuWaH at the head, leading them back through the gate in order to come back into Zion. So for me, that's a beautiful picture of how YaHuWaH is doing things in reverse. How he did something in order to send his people all over the world in the dispersion, in captivity. But now he's doing everything in reverse. This other Son of Man, the breacher maker, is the one leading and gathering his people, leading them back into the city in order to establish the kingdom of YaHuWaH here on earth. I think for me it's a beautiful picture. When I saw it after we read, because I read this Micah before reading the portion, it was a beautiful thing to see. So let's continue in chapter 12. It says in the verse 17, and the word of YaHuWaH came to me, saying, Son of man, eat your bread with trembling, and drink your water with fear and with anxiety. And you shall say to the people of the land, thus said the Master YaHuWaH to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and to the land of Israel, let them eat their bread with anxiety, and drink their water with astonishment. For her land is emptied of all who are in it, because of the violence of all those who dwell in it. And the cities that are inhabited shall be laid waste, and the land shall become a wasteland. And you shall know that I am YaHuWaH. And the word of YaHuWaH came to me, saying, Son of man, what is this proverb that you people have about the land of Israel, which says, the days go by, and every vision shall come to naught? Therefore say to them, thus said the Master YaHuWaH, I shall make this proverb to cease, so that they no longer use it as a proverb in Israel. But say to them, the days have drawn near, as well as the matter of every vision. For no longer is there to be any false vision or flattering divination with the house of Israel. For I am YaHuWaH, I speak, and the word which I speak is done. It is no longer deferred. For in your days, O rebellious house, when I speak the word, I shall do it, declares the Master YaHuWaH. Again the word of YaHuWaH came to me, saying, Son of man, see, the house of Israel is saying, the vision that he is seeing is for many days from now, and he is prophesying of times far off. Therefore say to them, that said the Master YaHuWaH, none of my words are deferred any longer. When I speak a word, it is done, declares the Master YaHuWaH. You go first.
I was thinking about the first thing that it was being shown by Ezekiel about this digging into the wall and doing everything. It was being shown to the prince, it says. And I think the prince in Jerusalem, and I think that it was like, then at the end we have to see that only Yahushua is the one who is going to do it. But it was like a calling of attention to the person who was in charge at that moment of that group of people. That was what he has to do. Maybe he never do it. And then when you continue reading and it says, okay, I'm going to scatter all the people outside, and they're going to say about, they're going to recount what all the abominations that they are doing and everything, and the land is going to be desolated. And then they are going to see that, and they're going to believe that YaHuWaH is YaHuWaH. So it's like different things that are going to be shown to different group of people. So today we can see that we are watching and we are being witnesses how the earth is being destroyed somehow. So, and the message is for all humanity, is for all the people who still doesn't believe that YaHuWaH is YaHuWaH. And
it's an opportunity, you know?
Yeah.
It's an opportunity to recognize YaHuWaH as the true creator and the only true Elohim. So sometimes we need to go, as we were talking yesterday, through difficult situations. You know, when we make mistakes is when we learn the most. And when we make mistakes, it's not funny. We don't have a joyful time. We go through difficult times when we make mistakes and when we're wrong. But the time is an opportunity to learn. It depends on us in the attitude of the heart if we are going to learn the lesson and to mend our ways and to understand how to walk, or if we will continue making the same mistakes or even worse. So the same thing here, YaHuWaH is doing these things because he's not enjoying seeing his creation suffering. He's doing it in order to give us an opportunity to first understand what's happening, second, to recognize that he is Elohim, and third, to mend our ways, to come back to him. What it means, having eyes to see and ears to hear. He's giving us that opportunity once again to open our eyes, open our ears. But sometimes, as it is written in the book of Yeshayahu, and Yahushua was quoting that, you know, the heart is so thickened that unfortunately we don't have the humble attitude to surrender ourselves and to understand that he is Elohim.
And it's sad when you still hear some people that they're saying, no, from the old times, all these things were prophesying, never something happened during my parents' lives or things like that. So what is telling me that this could be now? And still we can hear that. But it's like, it's like you feel that you want them to see, but we only can pray for them, that the eyes at one moment they're going to be healed.
But we need to, you know, even though that we need to pray for everybody, and we need to have the hope for everybody to be able to come to salvation. We also need to understand two things. Is that the first is not our job. That's the work of the Ruach of Elohim in the heart of everyone. And second, it is written that not everybody is receiving the blessing to have the eyes to see and ears to hear. So it's tearing of our hearts when we see people that are unable, or even they don't want, because of their own decision, to receive the word or to even to analyze it for a bit. But it's not our job. Our job is just to plant the seed. The rest is the Ruach of Elohim. It is written in the book of 2 Peter, chapter 3, the following. This is now, beloved ones, the second letter I write to you, in which I stir up your sincere mind to remember the words previously spoken by the set-apart prophets, and of the command of the Master and Savior spoken by your emissaries. Knowing this first, that mockers shall come in the last days with mocking, walking according to their own lusts, and saying, what is the promise of his coming? For since the fathers fell asleep, all continues as from the beginning of creation. Nothing has changed. Those words, they're coming from 4,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, but they are for far away, not for now. In the last days, mockers will come, asking, what is the promise of his coming? For they choose to have this hidden from them, that the heavens were of old, and the earth standing out of water, and in the water by the word of Elohim, through which the world at that time was destroyed, being flooded with water. And I think it's happening again. And the present heavens and the earth are treasured up by the same word, being kept for fire, to a day of judgment and destruction of wicked men. As we were listening the other day, is the breaking of the water coming first, and then the fire. But beloved ones, let not this one matter be hidden from you, that with YaHuWaH 1 day is as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as 1 day. YaHuWaH is not slow in regard to the promise, as some count slowness, but is patient toward us, not wishing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance. But the day of YaHuWaH shall come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with intense heat, and the earth and the works that are in it shall be burned up. So mockers will come in the last days. And I think mockers were in those times as well, telling Ezekiel, but these words are not for now. And what happened? Destruction came from the Babylonians. The same thing happened with Yirmiyahu. And we know that they spoke words not only for their times, they spoke words for our time too. And even though that we see people around us that they don't believe, even though that we see the world going nuts, not believing in the word of YaHuWaH, not recognizing that he is in control of everything, that he's in control of weather, he's in control of the soil, he's in control of how the air produces fruit, he's in control even in how we live, in the life we have inside of us, and how our bodies works. He's in control of everything, but people of the world doesn't want to recognize. And you know what's sad? You know what's sad? That sometimes we don't recognize that either, because we forget. Because we forget his words. Because we forget that he is the Elohim in control of everything. And instead of giving him praises and worship and recognizing that he is the one in control of everything, allowing things to happen and even sometimes doing things, we forget. And we go into the trap of the ways of the world, thinking and believing that things are being caused by man. We participate, for sure, we participate on things. But who is the one in control of everything? It's him, it's YaHuWaH. So, if we don't have ears to hear or eyes to see because we are forgetting, we need to surrender ourselves and we need to ask for forgiveness. And we need to ask YaHuWaH to guide us all the time in order to receive the blessing of having the eyes and having the ears, first to recognize him as the Elohim and the maker of the heaven and the earth. So, you know, when I open the scriptures in the book of Micah this morning, sometimes I'm reading what I feel, not necessarily in order. But this time when I open with my eyes closed, I felt to begin on the beginning.
Yeah.
In the beginning of the book of Micah, in chapter 1, it says the following.
Okay. Give me a second. Yeah.
The word of YaHuWaH that came to Micah, of Moreshet, in the days of Jotam, Ahaz, Hizkiah, sovereign of Yehuda, which he saw concerning Shomeron and Jerusalem. Hear, all you peoples, listen. Hear, listen, let's have ears to hear, O earth, and all who are in it. And let the Master YaHuWaH be a witness against you. YaHuWaH from his set apart Hechal, for look, eyes to see. YaHuWaH is coming out of his place, and he shall come down and shall tread on the high places on the earth, and the mountains shall melt under him, and the valleys be cleft as wax before the fire, as waters pour down a steep place. When I saw it, wow, YaHuWaH is coming. And he's sending Yahushua on the clouds, coming back. You know, none of his words are going to be deferred any longer. He is coming back, and he's coming back in our times. There should not be doubt in our hearts that we are the last generation, that generation that is going to be able to see him coming on the clouds. Blessed are you who are able to see these things. They were able to see Yahushua doing mighty signs and wonders and healing and receiving the truth of his words, going through his mouth, the words of the Father. They were blessed to see and hear. We are blessed to see and hear. We are going to have a double blessing by being the last generation of this world, the ones who are going to be able to see him coming down on the clouds of the heaven. When I saw this passage, what I felt in my heart is that this is the time. Is the time. We don't know it's going to happen today, tomorrow, next year. We don't know, but we know something for sure that is coming. And it's going to be soon. How soon? We don't know. So that's why, when we see these words in the book of Ezekiel, that none of his words are going to be deferred any longer, it's because those words are for today. The fulfillment of his words are for today. What he said, he will do. What he said, he's doing it. It's just a matter to see what's happening in the world. The vision was for afar off and was true for them, but it's not true for us. What is true for us is what he said at the end of the chapter 12. This is what is true for us, for our generation. For in your days, O rebellious house, when I speak the word, I shall do it. When I speak a word, it is done. In our days, in our generation, is when YaHuWaH is doing what he said he will do. So we need to have the eyes to see, we need to have the ears to hear, so be attentive how his words are being fulfilled in order to have the right attitude in our hearts and not to have a thick heart, so we are able to participate on what he's doing in these times. Let's move on to chapter 13. Your turn.
Yeah, to be ready. And the word of YaHuWaH came to me, saying, Son of man, prophesy against the prophets of Israel who prophesy, and say to those who prophesied out of their own heart, Hear the word of YaHuWaH. Thus said the Master YaHuWaH, Woe to the foolish prophets who are following their own spirit without having had a vision. O Israel, your prophets have been like foxes among ruins. You have not gone up into the breaches, nor do you build a wall for the house of Israel to stand in battle on the day of YaHuWaH. Their visions are false and their divinations are lie, saying, Thus declares YaHuWaH, when YaHuWaH has not sent them, yet they expected the word to be confirmed. Have you not seen a false vision, and have you not spoken a divination of lies? You say, YaHuWaH declares, when I have not spoken. Therefore, thus said the Master YaHuWaH, because you have spoken falsehood and seen lies, therefore, see, I am against you, declares the Master YaHuWaH. My hand shall be against the prophets who see falsehood and who divine lies. They shall not be in the council of my people, nor be written in the record of the house of Israel. And they shall not enter into the land of Israel. And you shall know that I am the Master YaHuWaH. Because they have led my people astray, saying peace when there is no peace. And when one is building a wall, see, they are coating it with whitewash. Say to those who coat it with whitewash, it shall fall. There shall be flooding rain, and you, O great hailstones, fall, and a stormy wind breaks it down. And see, the wall shall fall. Shall you not be asked, where is the coating with which you coated it? Therefore, thus said the Master YaHuWaH, I shall break down with a stormy wind in my wrath, and a floating rain in my displeasure, and great hailstones in wrath to consume. And I shall throw down the wall you have coated it with whitewash, and bring it down to the ground, and its foundation shall be uncovered. And it shall fall, and you shall be consumed in the midst of it, and you shall know that I am YaHuWaH. So I shall complete my wrath on the wall and on those coated in with whitewash, and say to you, the wall is no more, nor those whitewashing it. The prophets of Israel who are prophesying concerning Jerusalem, and who are seeing visions of peace for her when there is no peace, declares the Master YaHuWaH. Maybe we can stop there.
Sure.
Yeah.
Whatever you want.
And
It's your chapter. You decide.
no, but I make my opinion when you
Go
read
ahead.
it.
Yeah, sure.
When you're reading. So
we stopped in the verse 16. Just
okay,
not to
and the
forget.
16. Okay.
Go ahead.
What was calling my attention is, and we can see that so many people talking about, wow, I'm going to prophesy, or I received this vision, or this
A word of the Lord.
a word of the Lord, and it's like, okay, like every day is happening that. And YaHuWaH is not going to forget that. He's not going to, and it says, I have a written book that is for the people of Israel, and they are going to be removed from there. So they're not going to be there. And then I was thinking, because I remember the book of life that is also being spoken for, like, I imagine for the general public, the book of life was going to be inscribed there. But this is a specific book that is for the people of Israel, his people. So it's so important to realize that saying something that he has not said, that maybe you can feel it, maybe it's a kind of an insight. But if you have not heard his voice, if he hasn't said anything, we cannot be saying, YaHuWaH told me this, he told me that. It's different to say, I'm feeling this. I'm feeling that. If you want, I can share this that I'm feeling. But it's different to say I'm bringing this message if I am not hearing the word of YaHuWaH. So that is something very important. We cannot be deceived on that. And that is something that really caught my attention in this chapter. And we are seeing that today.
Yeah, I have few things here to share too. First, even though that it is said here in the verse 9, my hand shall be against the prophet who see falsehood and not divine lies. They shall not be in the council of my people, nor be written in the records of the house of Israel. They shall not enter in the land of Israel, and you shall know that I am the Master YaHuWaH. I think a direct relation to the book of the Lamb in the book of Revelation, the book of life. Because if we go to just two places in the book of Revelation,
And it's
chapter 13, chapter 13, it is 8, I think.
because
Yes.
we have the 17:8.
No, in the chapter, just to show something. What I believe is we are talking about the same. In the chapter 13, verse 8, and all those dwelling on the earth whose names had not been written in the book of life of the slain Lamb from the foundation of the world shall worship him. And just the first one, and the next one, the verse, chapter 20, verse 15. And if anyone was not found written in the book of life, he was thrown into the lake of fire. So
That's why I think there are two different books. Because the other one said they are not going to enter to Israel, so they're going to be left out. And this has like a different end.
At the end times, it is written that there's going to be two set of people. One set of people that are going to receive the mark of YaHuWaH, and other people that is going to receive the mark of the beast. And most of them is not going to be written in the book. And what's going to be the final destination is what is written there. So false prophecy is YaHuWaH was speaking about that,
Well, it's true, because everything that is false is against YaHuWaH.
Woe to him that is serving a stumbling block for a child like this one. And he was speaking, for a children, but it could be just a new believer. It's better for him to tie a rock in the neck and throw him to the river to die. So false prophecy and false prophets, those one leading the people astray, are going to have a proper destination. What happened with Bilam? Bilam was destroyed during the battle with the Amalekites.
Yehuda also miscarried.
So at the end, YaHuWaH sees with this type of eyes, people that are leading astray other people, they have a responsibility because they are not leading themselves astray, they are leading other people astray. Is why YaHuWaH was fighting and debating so strongly with the Pharisees, telling them, you are not entering into the kingdom of Yah, and you are not allowing the other people to enter because you are tying these things on their shoulders, basically pushing them to violate and to transgress the commandment of YaHuWaH. Those are false prophets, and those are leading the people astray. So I do believe that somehow it's a connection. I think it's the same book. And so it's so complicated to be in a position that if you are doing it in purpose, I think those are the ones that are going to receive that type of destiny. But if you are doing it in ignorance, I do believe that this is like sin. If they are leading people astray in ignorance because they are not able to see, I know and I believe in the compassion of the heart of YaHuWaH. This is something totally a different thing. So, but the point is that again, we can go to the extremes. And we can say, if I'm feeling something, I prefer not to shut my mouth and not to speak.
No.
Or if I'm feeling something, I'm going to be so careful to say, I'm feeling this, but I'm sharing just with you because I'm not so sure this is coming from YaHuWaH. And this is a valid thing. I know that this is what you share. And I'm not saying that it's wrong. I think it's right. Because if we're not sure, it's better to be humble and say, I'm feeling this. I have this dream. I know this is coming from YaHuWaH, but I prefer to share it because if this is coming with a meaning, or has some meaning, or it's coming from Yah. I think that's a humble attitude, and is the way to do it. But what's the point I want to make? We cannot deny that YaHuWaH speaks. That YaHuWaH speaks to his people. We have seen it throughout the entire scripture. And we believe what is written. And we need to recognize that he's in control of everything. We just talked about that. So he speaks to his people. The point is that we see here in the book of Ezekiel, let me go back there, is that people speaking, saying that they receive a word of YaHuWaH. If I'm a servant of YaHuWaH and YaHuWaH can speak to me, I need to have the ability and the capacities to recognize his voice. If I'm not certain that it's YaHuWaH, okay, I need to restrain, I need to ask for testimonies and confirmations before sharing any word, or be humble to say, I'm feeling this. But the main point I want to make is that we need to develop that capacity to recognize the voice of YaHuWaH when he's speaking to us. If we don't develop that capacity, how we are going to be able to share the message, to be an instrument in the hands of YaHuWaH, if we have not developed that capacity to deliver the message of YaHuWaH? YaHuWaH wants to speak. As we were listening yesterday, sometimes we tend to believe, or again, we tend to forget. The two things are working at the same time. We tend to believe that YaHuWaH was speaking in the past. And we tend to forget that YaHuWaH continues speaking. The only fact that we have the scriptures only until the book of Revelation, that doesn't mean that he stopped speaking to his people. He continues speaking to us. And how he speaks? In the same way that he spoke in the past, through his servants. So how we are going to be able to deliver the message of YaHuWaH if we have not developed that capacity to recognize his voice? And then it comes again, the book of Micah.
Which one?
Chapter 3. It says the following. Then I said,
which verse?
I'm going to read it entirely.
Okay.
And then I said, hear now, O heads of Yaakov, and you rulers of the house of Israel. And you will see this is so beautiful how YaHuWaH is crossing the information between, even with this portion. How come this is not coincidence? He's giving me a word that is so connected to the portion that we were studying today.
I'm not saying that. If you are feeling that I'm saying that,
No,
maybe
no.
it's not understand.
No, I'm just sharing. I'm not saying anything that you said.
Okay.
Because
I'm talking about people who are on the media.
Absolutely.
Outside,
No, the word is
okay.
the word is saying all the time this.
Okay.
That's why listen to this, because it's so important.
Okay.
And it's so beautiful that he's giving confirmation, because you will see one specific word that is exactly written in the book of Ezekiel. It says, then I said, hear now, O heads of Yaakov, and you rulers of the house of Israel, should you not know right ruling? You who are hating good and loving evil, tearing away the skin from my people and the flesh from their bones. You see that is so connected to the portion of Ezekiel in the verse in the chapter 13. And who have eaten the flesh of my people, and stripped off their skin, and have broken their bones, and have cut it up as into a pot, like flesh in the cooking pot. Therefore, when they cry to YaHuWaH, he does not answer them, and hides his face from them at that time. as they have made their deeds evil. Thus said YaHuWaH concerning the prophets who lead my people astray, and this is so beautiful, who are beating or biting with their teeth and have called out, peace.
It's
It's the same word.
Yeah.
They even set apart a battle against him who does not give for their mouth. Therefore it shall be night to you without vision, no day, and darkness to you without divination. The sun shall go down on the prophets, and the day shall be dark for them. And the seers shall be ashamed, and the diviners embarrassed. And they shall all cover their lips, for there is no answer of Elohim. But listen to this, and this is the way that we are going to be able to understand and recognize the voice of YaHuWaH speaking to us in these times. But truly I am filled with the power with the Ruach of YaHuWaH, and with right ruling and with might, to declare to Jacob his transgressions and to Israel his sin. Hear this, please, you heads of the house of Jacob, and you rulers of the house of Israel, who despise right ruling and distort all that is straight, those building up Zion with bloodshed and Jerusalem with unrighteousness. Her heads judge for a bribe, her priests teach for pay, and her prophets divine for a price. Yet they lean on YaHuWaH and say, is not YaHuWaH in our midst? Evil does not come upon us. Therefore, because of you, Zion is plowed like a field, and Jerusalem becomes heaps, and the mountains of the house like a wooded height. The only way that we are going to be able to be used as an instrument for YaHuWaH speaking to us in these times is by seeking the face of YaHuWaH and asking him to fill us with his Ruach HaKodesh. If we are filled with the Ruach of Elohim within us, we will have no doubt at all when he is speaking to us. If we have the right attitude in our heart in order to develop the capacity to recognize when he is speaking to us, we will have no doubt when YaHuWaH is speaking to us. How was possible that Mashiach was able to receive and to see and to understand the thought of the people around him? Because he had the capacity that he was involved completely with the Ruach of Elohim. He knew when the Father was speaking to him, because he developed that capacity through the power of the Ruach of Elohim. And we have that capacity too. It's a matter for us to develop that capacity. Asking, having the attitude of our heart, the determination to move forward, to seek for more, to ask him for more. So we are certain every time that he is speaking to us. And as you said, if we are not certain, because I think none of us have developed that capacity, we're still in this path of learning, and we need to learn fast. We need to learn fast. And if we have not developed that capacity completely, we need to be humble because we are in a learning period. And if we are in a learning period, we need to be humble in order to say, I received this. But the important message that I want to share is that it's a priority in our walk with YaHuWaH to develop that capacity through the power of the Ruach of Elohim in us.
And he's always going to confirm what he has said in the past. He's not changing.
Absolutely.
He's not going to provide something that is being opposite to what he has said through his prophet, through the scripture, through YaHuWaH. YaHuWaH was saying, I have not going to change anything, not even a letter in the Torah. I'm going to fulfill it. The problem was at that time that some people were completely different, already in a lie. And that's the issue, when you are in an opposite way. But when you know that what you are, what you have to say is in agreement in the word of YaHuWaH, he's going to confirm it, and he's going to let you know you're going to have that shalom in your heart, and you're going to know that he's using you as an instrument.
Like the testimony we were
yeah.
listening yesterday, you
Yeah.
remember? So many things happen simultaneously.
And,
it was impossible not to believe.
Impossible not to believe. And when he's using instrument in that way, no, I was just to clarify. No, I'm not saying that even our dreams. No, for sure, they're being provided by YaHuWaH, and he's speaking in that way to us too. So I know that he's putting his thoughts into our minds and his feelings into our hearts, is the way that we are being ahead with him. But I'm just talking in the cases that I can see sometimes in YouTube when I'm going to look for something, and then I read the following windows, and then I see that a lot of new prophets are appearing saying some things that are nothing related
Popping up
with it.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm talking about that kind of
Yeah.
message. And when and it says, you are seeing that Jerusalem is not having peace. How you can say that peace is over that place?
That's why we need to be so careful, because, we can pop up as well as the other people and say, I
Yeah.
received this word.
Yeah.
But we need to be so careful,
Yeah.
because this is a word
Yeah.
in this chapter of Micah and also in the chapter of Ezekiel that we need to be, it's a delicate thing
Yeah.
to say that YaHuWaH spoke to you. And that's why it's so important that we need to develop that relationship with YaHuWaH to recognize his voice, because we can speak with property. Because we know that those are not our words. Those are words that are coming directly from him.
Yeah, and something with peace.
Yeah.
That
It's interesting, peace is repeated in two places.
Yeah, and it was the same. That the only way, because I know that everybody of us are looking for peace in our life, the only way that we are going to get peace is when we live and we turn to YaHuWaH and we live according to his right ruling. That's the way that we are going to have peace, because he is the peace giver, he's the peacemaker, and is one of his title. So we have to pray for his peace being poured over us. That's it.
Yeah. About the wall, wall is always, it's a protection. It's protecting a place. So I think you spoke about that, about the walls. Yeah. So when this is the
we were
in the
talking
16.
about the whitewash. We were
So I think I was looking into the Hebrew word for wall, and it's appearing all in one place.
yeah.
That specific word is here. It's not any other places in the scripture. So I was looking on that, because when I saw that, it was impossible for me not to remember the words of Mashiach when he was talking to the Pharisees.
About being
Exactly.
whitewashed tombs.
Yeah. And he said in the chapter 23 of Matthew, verse 27, "Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, because you are like whitewashed tombs, which outwardly indeed look well, but inside are filled with dead men's bones and all uncleanness. So you too outwardly indeed appear righteous to men, but inside you are filled with hypocrisy and lawlessness." So I do believe somehow the two things are connected. These people, beautifying the walls, but everything that was happening inside was lawlessness, transgression, and that's why YaHuWaH was bringing his judgment on the city. So it's the same thing that, the religious people on the time of Mashiach, they were building these walls, to say so, around their religious practices. And it's so sad that this is even happening in our times. They build these walls of religious practice, and they don't let people get in because they are so zealous of this, in the way that, they are putting these traditions, converting the way of YaHuWaH in a religion. But what's happening inside that religion has nothing to do with the ways of YaHuWaH. So, it could happen with each one of us. That sometimes we are building these walls, but we are not taking care of what's happening inside. Maybe we present, and this is exactly what YaHuWaH was telling them, you present to men as righteous, but inside you are full of lawlessness and uncleanness. So we need to keep an eye on how we are inside of us. We need to clean the inside as well as the outside. So on what YaHuWaH was doing in this case, he was removing the wall, and he was removing everything that was inside. He was bringing fire in order to cleanse that place. In this case, we need to ask for the fire of the Ruach of Elohim and the fire of and the water of His Word in order to be cleansed from any uncleanness that we can have inside of us.
Okay, now we are going to continue with the second part. Something else?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
Okay, and you, son of man, set your face against the daughter of your people, who are prophesying out of their own heart, and prophesy against them. And you shall say, this is what the Master YaHuWaH said. Woe to the women sewing cushions for all joints of the hand, and to those making veils for the heads of people of every size, to hand beings. You hand the beings of my people, while you keep alive your own beings. And you have profaned me among my people for a handful of barley and for pieces of bread, to put the dead beings that should not die, and to keep alive beings who should not live, by your lying to my people who listen to lies. Therefore thus said the Master YaHuWaH, see, I am against your cautions by which you hand the beings there like birds, and I shall tear them from your arms, and shall let the beings go, the beings you hand like birds. And I shall tear off your veils, and shall deliver my people out of your hand. And they shall no longer be as prey in your hand, and you shall know that I am YaHuWaH. Because with falsehood you have made the heart of the righteous sad, whom I have not made sad. And you have strengthened the hands of the wrong, so that he does not turn from his evil way to keep him alive. Therefore you shall no longer see false visions, nor practice divination. And I shall deliver my people out of your hand, and you shall know that I am YaHuWaH. Wow. And he's talking here about daughters. So it could be that it's female or also daughters when we see from the scripture point of view that are cities. It could be too. I'm kind of if somebody knows what it could be mean about that kind of
cushions on the hands.
Yeah, because I just can imagine there are gloves or something like that, and veils, something to cover the hair, but with what purpose, I don't know. The only thing that at one point I was imagining, it was like gloves, like the gloves that are being used in medicines, and maybe in the old times when they used something to cover their hair when they were nurses and things like that. And if I could relate it to what it says, is because in one part it says you put to death beings that should not die and keep alive beings that should not live. So it's like doing the opposite, that maybe they were being a help somehow and it was so common in the old times when you see always they were talking about women who were making potions and things like that to recover, and usually in the ancient cultures always they're like assigned to women instead of men, that kind of stuff. So I was thinking that maybe it could be that in some cases, instead of person going to the real doctor or to the real healer that is YaHuWaH, is that we try to be in the middle, and instead of the person going to the root of the problem, we are given maybe some solution. And I'm not talking that we are doing it. I'm talking about like humankind. that humankind is giving some solutions, but only temporary, to some kind of disease. And we know that maybe a disease is a symptom and it's just the tip of the iceberg. And we have to go down to realize why YaHuWaH is allowing that happening to us, why we have to change something, why we have to do something different there. And maybe when there is all this medicine right now that is being handled by human beings, we are preventing people to go to the right direction with that. And I think that maybe that could be the case. And something else that caught my attention, that it says, I create my righteous people, or something like that. In the 22, it says, because with falsehood you have made the heart of the righteous sad, whom I have not sad. YaHuWaH didn't make us to be sad, to feel sorrow, to be numbed into this earth. And that is something that medication is causing, especially in these days. Though that is what is causing a lot of depression, a lot of problems, a lot of issues. So I don't know, I could see that. But if you know something and you can read, maybe if somebody was studying about that, what could be the things on the hands and also the veils over the
that would be interesting to see.
have maybe something else.
Yeah. You know what I felt when I was looking on this passage on the speaking about others, that could be a representation of cities or the system we live. It's just to understand, and when we talk about the Babylon the Great and the daughters of Babylon, we're talking about cities. And if we look at that and we connect this on the way we live today, and especially in what I was sharing with you in the book earlier today, it's much easier to understand the last two verses, because with falsehood, the system, the false of the system, or the cities, or the way of living, you have made the heart of the righteous sad. Because the righteous want to live in righteousness, but we see the opposition of the system that has been created around us. We are in a kind of a slavery, whom I have not made sad, and you have strengthened the hands of the wrong. We see this happening all the time, so that he does not turn from his evil way, to keep him alive. So favoring sin, transgression, lawlessness is how the system works. So I think it could be the two ways to understand, because at the end of verse 23 it ends saying, and I shall deliver my people out of your hand, and you shall know that I am YaHuWaH. So he is going to set us free. He set us free spiritually from sin. He is going to set us free. YaHuWaH, he's going to set us free from the system of the world, when he is going to break all chains that are somehow having us caught on the way of this world. He when he was praying to the Father, he said, I'm not asking you to take them out of the world, just to keep them out of the evil one. So we are in this world, even though that we don't participate on the ways of the world. Sometimes we are like Israel in Egypt. We were unable to go out in freedom. They were in the world. They were in Egypt. They were not partaking in the period of the plagues, partaking of Egypt, because YaHuWaH did something in order to set them apart. And I think it is exactly the foreshadow how we are living in our days. So I think there's no doubt that all of us, we are waiting for that time of freedom, that time that we are going to be able to give all our times to his kingdom, to his service. And I think, as I said at the beginning, and I think it's a reinforcement of everything we have been sharing today in this portion, that time is coming, and is coming soon. And that should give us the excitement in our hearts that he will fulfill his promises and he will fulfill everything in our days.
Yeah, because it's going to arrive that moment when he's going to remove everything. He's going to remove diseases. He's going to remove sorrow. He's going to remove all the hardship that we have to face today. He's going to remove death itself. So he's going to take us to the beginning again. He's going to take us in the perfect condition that he wanted for us. But he wants us to be ready for that perfection. That at this moment he wants us to remove everything that is against him, everything that is not true. He is truth. He is, YaHuWaH said that his word is truth, that when he reveals YaHuWaH to this disciple, he let them know about his name. And I know that I don't know, somehow that he was telling them, if you want to be ahead with the Father, you have to be like the Father. The Father doesn't contain anything that is going to be against him. He contains everything. And he's asking us to be truth for him. He's asking us to be clean for him. He's asking us to be ready in this body, to be ready like a vessel to receive his YaHuWaH. And if we are not ready, we can be broken if we are not ready to receive his YaHuWaH. So he wants us to be prepared for that.
That's true. That's true. It's beautiful to see how YaHuWaH is somehow giving us these portions in these days in order to see how connecting to everything that's happening. The words of the prophets and deception and many other things, the dollars and keeping the righteous trapped. I think we are living in all those days, but what the most, for me at least, the most important message today is that he said that there's no more delay. And I think this is somehow resonating in our hearts, that there's no more delay and he is going to fulfill his word and he's going to doing it soon. So let's keep our hearts ready with the expectation and hope to have the eyes open and the ears open. So to be completely ready with the blessings that are coming from YaHuWaH directly. I want to see him coming on the clouds. And I feel in my heart that I think all of us, we are going to be able to see it. And that's going to be the most amazing blessing that we can have in life. But something else will happen before, is that his people needs to step up, all of us. And that he's going to do a big movement of his YaHuWaH among us, because we need to shine the light of YaHuWaH in this world. And we need to prepare the way for the coming of YaHuWaH in the same way that Yahuhanan, John the Baptist, was doing it. It's our time now. It's our time to prepare the path for the YaHuWaH HaMashiach. Good. Anything else? No?
No, I think that was everything for today. Just be ready for him and continue working and ask him for his wisdom to put his light over any place that we need to have more vision and to receive more knowledge from him.
Absolutely. So having said that, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for participating with us in these studies in the book of Ezekiel. It's a blessing to read the word of YaHuWaH, to study the word of YaHuWaH together. So we pray that you are going to continue having a blessed Shabbat, that you are going to have a joyful week. And please remember YaHuWaH all the time. Remember the words of YaHuWaH all the time. Remember his blessings, because that's the only way that he is going to stay with us and we are going to be able to see and hear. So thank you so much. YaHuWaH be with you all. Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom.
Bye-bye.
my mourning into dancing again. You lifted my sorrows, and I can't stay silent. I must sing, for your joy has come. Oh, you turned my mourning into dancing again. You lifted my sorrows, and I can't stay silent. I must sing, for your joy has come. Where there once was only hurt, you gave your healing hand. Where there once was only pain, you brought comfort like a friend. I feel the sweetness of your love, piercing the darkness. I see the bright and morning sun as it ushers in your joyful gladness. You turn my mourning into dancing again. You lifted my sorrows, and I can't stay silent. I must sing, for your joy has come. Oh, you turn my mourning into dancing again. You lifted my sorrows, and I can't stay silent. I must sing, for your joy has come. Where there once was only hurt, you gave your healing hand. Where there once was only pain, you brought comfort like a friend. I feel the sweetness of your love, piercing the darkness. I see the bright and morning sun as it ushers in your joyful gladness. You turn my mourning into dancing again. You lifted my sorrows, and I can't stay silent. I must sing, for your joy has come. Your anger lasts for a moment in time, but your favor is here, and it will be on me for all my lifetime. You turned my mourning into dancing again. You lifted my sorrows, and I can't stay silent. I must sing, for your joy has come. Oh, you turned my mourning into dancing again. You lifted my sorrows, and I can't stay silent. I must sing, for